In this video, I'm going to be talking about how you know you're sitting in front of the right person for your product or service. Don't you think that would be useful if you just knew right away you were sitting in front of someone who actually wanted what you have, so you wouldn't have to waste time on people that are telling you maybe or people that are telling you no. So let's go ahead and get right into it, because guess what? Sales is not always easy. It can be tough. However, if you know you're sitting in front of the right person and you know exactly what to do to get to that point, so you know right away, don't you think that would be much better? I'm sure then you could sell like a pro. So let's talk about speaking to the right people, selling to the right people. Because guess what? 80% of sales people, and maybe you found yourself in this situation, they're speaking to the wrong people. They're just hoping someone buys their product or service. But guess what? We want much more than hope. So if we're speaking to someone and they're telling us maybe, they're telling us no, we want to get to that information quickly. We don't want to waste time. So people that are telling us maybe, guess what? They're a waste of time. And so to find out if someone really needs our product or service, or to know we're sitting in front of the right person, there's a few different things that we can do. And the first thing is we can ask them, do you see any value in this? If they say no, guess what? Then you can stop, because there's plenty of clients. There's plenty of clients where you live, in your city, in your country, and even online across the whole entire world. Another thing we can do is we can add a nice softening frame before we ask a few other questions. We can say something like, hey, you know what? I'd like to serve you in the best way possible. I have a lot of respect for you, so I'd just like to ask a few questions. Maybe they seem odd. However, since I want to serve you in the best way possible, it would be really helpful if you could answer them. If you had a nice frame, softening frame there, people will want to answer you, especially if they trust you. In an earlier video, I already talked about how to build rapport. So once we build rapport, we have trust, and people will answer the questions. So the questions you can ask here to make sure you're speaking to the right person is, I'd like to discover how you make decisions. Or you could say, how do you know after you buy something that you're reassured it's a good decision? So this tells you if someone is actually going to like your product, your service, and if they're going to enjoy the benefits, or they're going to, give you a hard time after. And how amazing would that be to know how people make decisions? If someone tells you exactly how they make a decision, guess what? Later in the process, you can feed that strategy back to them and say, hey, you know what? You saw value in this, and give them their decision strategy. And guess what? Once you tell them how they do it, they're going to want to buy. So all of these, they help us focus on the right person, and they focus on people who are actually willing to pay. So if I were to ask a client, a prospect, hey, here's my product or service, what do you think? And they're like, oh, can you call me back tomorrow? Do you think that's a high quality prospect? No, it's not. Or, hey, what do you think? And they're like, it's maybe good. No, again, we got to the maybe quickly. We can move on to the next potential client. If they tell us no, that's fine. We can move on. We don't want to waste time talking to all the people who aren't going to buy our product. We want to speak to that number of people who are interested. We don't want to push and push and push to no avail. So there's another question that we can ask to make sure we're speaking to the right person, and that is it fair to say if we solve this problem, then that would be valuable to you? If they say yes, guess what? They're willing to speak to us more. They're willing to see what we have that is super valuable to them. So those are a few different things that you can do to make sure you're speaking to the right person. This is the third video in this series. Go ahead and watch the other two, and they show you how to build rapport so people can trust you, and how to do that instantly, and also how to ask the right questions so you know exactly what's important to your prospect, so you know if they need your product. If you combine those with all the things that you learned in this video so you know you're speaking to the right person, don't you think that would be valuable to you? I think it would be pretty useful. So there will be 2 more videos coming up in this series. If you like this one, go ahead and like it, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Comment below what you think, and maybe there's some other things, other strategies that you do so you know you're speaking to the right prospects. So go ahead, comment below what those are, and thanks for watching.